أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل متاع الدنيا قليل والآخرة خير لمن اتقى. والآخرة خير لمن اتقى ويظلمون كثيرا. قل متاع الدنيا قليل والآخرة خير لمن اتقى والآخرة خير لمن اتقى ويظلمون كثيرا. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. وإن تصبهم حسنة يقولوا هذه من عند الله وإن تصبهم سيئة يقولوا هذه من عندك قل كل من قل كل من عند الله وإن تصبهم حسنة يقولوا هذه من عند الله وإن تصبهم سيئة يقولوا هذه من عندك قل كل من عند فما القوم لا يكادون يفقهون حديثا ما أصابك من حسنة فمن الله ما أصابك من حسنة فمن الله وما أصابك من سيئة فمن وأرسلناك للناس رسولا وكفى بالله شهيدا من يطع الرسول فقد أطاع الله ومن تولى فما أرسلناك عليهم وفيهم ويقولون فإذا برزوا من عندك بيت طائفة منهم غير الذي تقول والله يكتب ما يبيتون فأعرض عنهم وتوكل على الله وكفى بالله وكيلا أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا صدق الله العظيم. الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله تركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك ولا ينطق فيها إلا سالك. صلي وسلم وانعم واكرم وبارك على حبيبنا وشفيعنا وقرة عيوننا سيدنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه في الاولين وصل وسلم وبارك عليه في الاخرين وصل وسلم وبارك عليه في الملأ الاعلى. يقول عز من قائل: يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن الا وانتم مسلمون. يا رب العالمين أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله وبلزوم طاعته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيه. In the name of Allah the Gracious, the Merciful, to whom we belong, we shall return. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grace and His mercy to send an abundance of prayers of peace upon our most beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon this ummah, forgive our sins and our shortcomings and our weaknesses, to beautify us with the character of the Quran and the character of Habib Mustafa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from his most elect and righteous servants, servants that he looks upon with an eye of mercy and an eye of acceptance. Allah accept us as those who say from the depth of their hearts, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Brothers and sisters, last night was the night of Sha'ban, and one of the authentic narrations about this night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gazes upon his creation in this night. And he forgives the sins of his people, of his followers, of his believers, except for the mushrik and for the mushahid, except for those who associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for those who have enmity in their hearts towards others. So last night really is a night of purification. It's a night where you purify your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's a night where you purify your relationship with your creation, those around you, your brothers and your sisters, your family members, community members. It's where you exit and remove from your heart anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for his creation, you have nothing but mercy, compassion, love for his creation. This is what last night was about. It's a night of purification. But now we are on the doorsteps of the month of Ramadan. Allah grant us the opportunity to worship him in Ramadan. One of the hallmark features of the month of Ramadan, undoubtedly, is the human capacity to utterly and fully surrender him or herself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially in the most profound ways when it comes to even those things that you require and I require. That when we relinquish our food and drink for the span of an entire day, for over 30 days, it is an indication, it's from the ayat of Allah, it's from the signs of Allah, that you and I are very capable of surrendering ourselves to a will far greater than us. That is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a beautiful sign that requires us to reflect, because especially in a day and age, which is, as Charles Taylor, a philosopher in Princeton, says, we live in the age of feeling. We're now feeling, we're given primacy. What you feel, what you like, what you desire, that is governing. That informs what should be and what shouldn't be. And increasingly, as we live in an age of feeling, we enter into a greater age of realism. There are no longer objective truths, governing laws, principles, laws, ideals that are timeless, that are objective. No, everything is subjective. Truth is what you make it out to be. Truth is a lowercase. It's not there's no uppercase T truth. We're increasingly entering into a space and time where humanity is left to fend for itself. Every human being, with their whims and their desires, with their inclinations, with their interests, and just a process of self-advocacy. If you can, collect a group of people around you to fight for your interests, to fight for your right, then you can potentially get some laws passed on your own behalf. And I think that's something that as a society, we have to pause and think about how potentially destructive that truly is. And you no longer have a truth, you no longer have principles. And all that is truly being followed is hawa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنِ اتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ. And who is more misguided than the one who simply follows his or her desire? That is the epitome of misguidance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also illustrates, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you not seen those who take as their high lord their desires? So Allah speaks about it in terms that are very critical, that He speaks in a way to indicate that this is a deeply problematic and it's antithetical to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants and expects from us as His creation. Because even the capacity for you and I to desire, the fact that you and I desire or need food and drink, and it's so integral and essential to my existence, my survival. But then Allah says, this thing that you so viscerally need, you don't touch it. You don't eat food. You don't take a sip of water, not even a sip of water. And you know what a billion plus Muslims across the world do every Ramadan? What do they say? Sami'na wa ata'na. We hear it, we obey. No food, no drink. You want me to go against every inkling within myself to consume? I will not. As an act of utter surrender and utter obedience to the will of Allah, to the command of Allah, to the wisdom of Allah, to the knowledge of Allah, to the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the reality that you and I have to come to terms with, because these messengers were sent to us to remove us and exit us min al-dhulumati ila an-nur, from abject darkness, multitudes of darkness, ila an-nur, to manifest light. And He sent us rusul, messengers, min anfusihim yatlu alayhim ayatihi wa yuzakkihim wa yu'allimuhum al-kitaba wal hikmah. That we were gifted with messengers that were sent to us to do the following: to convey, to relay, yatlu tilawatan ayati, the signs of Allah. Here are the divine truths. This is what you need to know about existence. This is what you need to know about your reality, my reality, what I have created for you. Yatlu alayhim ayati wa yuzakkihim, and to purify us. This is the prophetic project, is a project of purification. Last night, what we say, it was a night of purity, where I'm purifying my relationship with Allah, and I'm purifying my relationship with creation. And so it is a constant process, cleansing the self, cleansing the heart, the soul, the spirit, cleansing the mind, cleansing the body of everything that is displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything that harms His creation. Because no one loves His creation. No one knows about His creation. No one cares for His creation more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No matter how much you think you know what you need for yourself, or no matter how much I think that this is what is in my best interest, I will never know truly, objectively, what is in my best interest other than what Allah tells me. That is the reality of the human condition. يَتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمْ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. And to teach them the book, teach them the book from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Quran, and the hikmah, and the wisdom. And the wisdom, in this case, constitutes the prophetic reality. The sunnah of al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the shama'il of al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the way of the path, the utterance, the action, the essence of al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the life of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the characteristics, the inward characteristics, the outward characteristics of al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is what is hikmah. Because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the manifestation of the Quran. He is the walking Quran. يمشي على الأرض. Prophet's guidance is not some subjective, arbitrary human experience. It is wisdom, hikmah, because he is the walking Quran. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik. Brothers and sisters, what does this result? As we're entering into this season now, between Sha'ban and Ramadan, the season of surrender, the season of discipline, the season of self-purification. This is the world that we're entering in. An integral part of this reality is knowing my principles, knowing my morals, knowing my values, knowing the governing laws of this dunya, understanding the Sharia as beautifully laid out to us by Allah. that this enterprise of humanity is not an arbitrary thing. You know, managing your home is not an arbitrary thing. It's not a subjective thing. It's not something you put around on the job. There are principles. Your own life, the things that you do and you don't do, the things that you eat and you don't eat, the relationships you have and you don't have, the places you go to and you don't go to. This is governed by principles. Because your feelings are so remarkable. All of our feelings are so remarkable. But if we relinquish the governance of our lives with feelings, then we end up with anarchy and chaos. You sometimes look on the TV, you'll watch a lady who, from so much rage and pain and anger, is talking about her fear of, for example, this masjid, building a cemetery or building a masjid like this one. You'll see people who are enraged, fueled with fear, anger, bother, a sense of loss, an existential threat on their own existence. And it's all raw, unabated, unrefined feelings that are exuding forth. But if we don't have governing principles, feelings, laws, then those feelings become authoritative. Because then it becomes, well, I can garner enough support around my feelings because I really believe that, for example, Muslims are a genuine threat. And I have plenty of people around me who are fully convinced of the same exact idea. That is anarchy. Right? Because it's just no one objectively would say these are virtuous feelings. Now, can you negate the fact that she's experiencing or you're experiencing those feelings genuinely? No, those are absolutely genuine feelings. You can't negate that. That's a real feeling. That's a genuine threat. That person is genuinely fearful of her identity and her children, not knowing what this, nefarious unknown of a Muslim community may mean. But that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us principle. He gives us He gives us the mechanism to filter our feelings. He says, don't follow your desires. Even if you feel so strongly about it, don't follow it until you filter it through the divine lens to see and to gauge, is this appropriate? And this happens, by the way, on every level of our society. You come in the home, you talk to a couple that's struggling in their marriage, what do you have? Battle of wills. Well, I feel and I think and I believe and he shouldn't and I should have and this shouldn't be. And where are these shoulds coming from? And where are these absolute statements of what should be and shouldn't be? What are they being informed by? Is it being informed by an objective truth from the Quran and the Sunnah that is pleasing to Allah, that is coming from His divine guidance and wisdom that truly helps us govern our affairs? Or is it coming from a place of the self? Well, this is what I believe should be because, well, I believe it. This is what I feel should be because I feel it and I know it's in my best interest and I have to protect and preserve myself. So therefore, X, assertion, aggression. And now people, what do? They leverage the legal system to just assert their feelings, their wants, their desires. And I see way too many homes corroding under the lack of principled approach to our homes. It's very painful to see this. It's painful enough to see what's happening in society. How the left and the right, the proverbial left and right, hate each other at a rate that is far more profound, I think, at any point in our history, the history of this country. I think you couldn't buy ammo up until recently because it was all sold out. Why are people arming up and gearing up so intensely? For some perpetual warfare against others because I have to protect myself, because I feel threatened. This is called anarchy. And philosophers, they have a term, it's called nihilistic leveling. I'm not going to get too much into what that means, but it effectively means that when you break hierarchy, when you break moral codes, when you break the idea of systems and principles, governing objective principles of truth and falsehood, right and wrong, and level everything. Just nihilistic, you level it all. You say there's no truth. Then you develop a culture of everything where it really does become everything about what you. Brothers and sisters, in closing, this can afflict any space. Your home, your job, society, can also afflict the house of Allah. You know, the project of running and managing the affairs of the house of Allah, in this country in particular, because we don't have a waqf system. You know, we don't have a waqf. I'm not saying the waqf system necessarily is doing the best job back home, but we don't have an endowment waqf system where there is where funding and authority comes in that way. We are left to govern our affairs by ourselves. And that could present itself as a positive thing, but it could also present itself as a not so positive. And any of you who've been in American Muslim masajid over the past decades of your life, across this country, you know that full well. Right? It's a really skittish thing. This idea of governance, this idea of managing space and maintaining sanctity. It takes a lot of work. But I think you can now tie the themes together of what, inshallah ta'ala, we must take upon ourselves as a duty on the individual level to ensure the sanctity of this space, the harmony of this space. We have to be a community that is principled. We have to be a very principled. You have to be careful of your feelings. No matter how strongly you may think or feel something, always realize there is authority. There are governing principles. There is a law that we have to ensure is objectively identified and it's respected and followed. There has to be concepts that ensure that our spaces are protected from our own whims and desires. Because the greatest enemy you have, beyond Satan, and the enemy within, which is the nafs. Our tradition teaches us that yourself, beware of yourself, check yourself, challenge yourself, question yourself. We're hungry from all this country when it comes to trying to figure out how to manage masjid, create and build a masjid. Even the physical reality, I'm talking about community. That's really hard work, and it's complicated. And it certainly does not require me or you to come in with the fullness of my force and my feelings and my emotions into the space. It requires gentleness. Very carefully. You know, be mindful of every step you take in the house of Allah. As I mentioned during the fundraiser, this is not our house. Allah is the sole proprietor of this house. He owns it. We're all humble guests. So beware of your feelings. Beware of your opinions. Beware of your motivation. It's very plausible that you or I may have very strong feelings about something, but it's very plausible that my feelings. You have to factor that into consideration. Imagine you're standing in front of Allah. Allah asks you, why did you do that? Why did you behave that way? Why did you speak that way? Why did you advocate for this? Why did you push for that? Why did you plan for this? Why did you? You have to answer for that. And you can't just say, well, Allah, because it doesn't work. When He gave us the Quran, He gave us the Sunnah, He gave us our Sharia, we have such a rich tradition. We have 1,400 years of rich civilizational tradition. You know, people like to talk about fitness, some dry, antiquated, project of some ulama who are sitting in some. We have civilizational heritage. Our legal system has been tested, tried, and proven in nations that have spanned continents. We have to learn what we have in our hands. Our inherited tradition is a very rich and sacred tradition. And that's what has to govern our spaces. This sacred tradition, all of its richness, and we can't rely on ourselves. We can't just say, well, this is what I think, this is what I posit, this is what I believe. No, check yourself. Always give deference to knowledge. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That should be the default disposition of every Muslim community in this country. Ask the people of knowledge. And the people of knowledge, I don't mean just you. I mean the people of know-how, the people of expertise, the people who know how to manage and govern, and who have experience in the governance of communal spaces and non-governmental spaces and masajid, the people who've been at this for decades. See what have you got right, what have you got wrong. Take counsel. Seek the advice of others. And B, if you want to be a guardian of the space, ensure that your own nafs and the nufus and the emotions and the feelings of others do not dominate in any space. Allah, this is a sincere advice from my heart as someone who was born and raised in the American Muslim masjid. All I know, my whole life, and now I'm 40 years old. My whole life I've been in the American Muslim masjid. I've seen a lot of sadness, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. People, becoming disillusioned, becoming lost, feeling disconnected, walking away. People within, just kind of, are people just perpetual warfare. There's always that very passionate people who have because I just need to. May Allah protect us from ourselves. And I pray that I really sincerely feel that from my heart. Pray that we can get this space right. There's no reason for that why we cannot bring this masjid by the grace of Allah, by following His deen, following His principles, following His guidance, relinquishing our nufus to the will of Allah. That you don't fully believe until your hawa, until your own desires and feelings become in accordance with what the Prophet says. That's what we need. We pray that every ounce of our own desires are in accordance with the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses this community, makes us a community that is truly built upon the Quran and the Sunnah in the way of our ulama and our teachers. May Allah help us to purify our hearts of all these things. The diseases of haughtiness, the diseases of ego, the diseases of covetousness, the disease of hubbul jah, all the diseases that can riddle up our. May Allah cleanse our hearts of those diseases. And may He purify the space so that His light shines through every corner of this life. May our egos and our confused not get in the way of Allah's light. Ya Rab, Ya Rab, Ya Rab, Ya Rab. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا إن الله صلى عليه يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وأنعم على قرة عيوننا سيدنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Brothers and sisters, Ramadan is 2 weeks away. Ramadan is a month. It's a revolutionary month for us as individuals, for our homes, for the masjid. Please take time, take plenty of time to prepare yourself for it. This religion of ours, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, communicates to 3 aspects of life: our bodies, our minds, and our hearts and our souls. Embrace the Quranic narrative of fixing your thoughts, purifying your thoughts, purifying your heart, purifying your body. And an extension of that is you have to purify your wealth. Rid yourself of all of the diseases and sins and wrongful acts that may be polluting your reality, your own individual reality. Be careful if there's haram money in your bank account. Be careful if you have hatred for other Muslims. Be careful of it. Be careful of being in a space where you're being abusive to those around you, your loved ones. If you're harming your spouse, your children, pull back, stop. Don't do that. Don't harm yourself because you're unable to control yourself. And that's why our greatest enemy is ourselves. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps us to be ready for Quran, that when we enter into that sacred month, we receive all of its blessings, all of the hamad and the barakat and the blood, Quran, all of it, the ilm and the Quran, may we receive it all. And may Allah accept us and purify us and look upon us with an eye of mercy and compassion and love. And may He uplift our condition, Ya Rabbil Alamin. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك اللهم وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت وتقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك ما يواصل وتعينا وسلنا اليك اللهم هب لنا عملا صالحا متقبلا يقربنا اليك اللهم استرنا فوق الارض وتحت الارض ويوم العرض عليك اللهم كن لنا ولا تكن علينا اعنا ولا تعن علينا اللهم بلغنا اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان اللهم اصلح احوالنا اللهم وحد بين صفوفنا اللهم الف بين قلوبنا حبب الينا القران والاسلام والايمان والاحسان والحبيب صلى الله عليه وسلم وكره الينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان اللهم كن لعبادك المستضعفين في كل مكان أنت أعلم به منا يا رب صل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
استووا الراس واصبروا الخروج تابع الله يرى الله بقلوب خاشعة الله الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر الله سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا الله سمع الله لمن حميدا الله 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 السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, weather. I'm taking over announcement duties. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Shaykh Yasir for the khutbah. It's a needed reminder for myself. I constantly think of the ways I need to improve, to lower my ego in advance of this month where the shaitan is shackled, inshallah. So, second, thank Shaykh Fouad for Recitation of Quran. Thank all of the volunteers and the board for putting together such wonderful Jumu'ah services. And to that end, as you can see, the hallways are cleaned and people are putting in a lot of effort. And alhamdulillah, thank everyone for attending the fundraising event last weekend. We raised over $530,000. We're of the $1.89 million goal. So we're still a bit away, but alhamdulillah, it was a really nice turnout online as well as in person. Our sustaining funds, we need $35,000 a month approximately to run the place. And that means things like getting help with the cleaning of the masjid as well as all of the services that go into it. We're about $7,000 there towards the $35,000 goal. So please contribute in that way. And third, please check the newsletter. It came out yesterday. It's coming out on a weekly basis. It has our Ramadan programming that's coming up with Shaykh Yasir, as well as all of the events that inshallah we have together throughout the month. As a final reminder, make rights as you exit. Everyone just make a right as you exit, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.